Level 1. The Curious Buyer. You're not a criminal. Not yet. You're 19. Maybe you're in college. Maybe you're just bored. You've heard about it. The dark web. You've watched a YouTube video. You've read a Reddit thread that's since been deleted. You download Tor. It takes 6 minutes. You find a link. You find a marketplace that looks shockingly like Amazon. Clean interface, product listings, star ratings, customer reviews. Someone is selling MDMA, 95% pure. Better purity than anything on the street. 94 reviews, 4.8 stars. The vendor's username is something clever. Fluffy Bunny. Purple Raindrop, Chemical King. You think this is insane. You think this is genius. You think nobody would ever know. You buy $40 worth. You send Bitcoin. You give them a shipping address, your real one, because you haven't learned yet what that risk means. 8 days later, a small padded envelope arrives, vacuum sealed, hidden inside what looks like a birthday card. You just became a customer, and somewhere across the world, a vendor just got a 5-star review. Level 2. The First-Time Vendor. $50 and a dream. You've been a buyer for a year. You know this world now. You know the markets, you know the vendors, you know the prices, and you've done the math. You've been buying MDMA for $12 a gram and selling it to people at your college for $25. Small scale, manageable, but the margins are obvious. Why buy from a vendor when you could be one? You have a connect, a friend of a friend who drives down from the city twice a month. You buy 3 ounces of cannabis. You split it, you photograph it, you write a product description. You're surprisingly good at this. You create a vendor account on the marketplace. You pay the bond, maybe $150 in Bitcoin. You set up your PGP encryption key because the forums told you to, even though you barely understand what it does. Your first listing goes live. You wait. 3 days later, your first order, $12, a gram of weed going to an address in Portland. You package it carefully. You've watched videos on how other vendors do it. You mail it from a post office 2 towns over, wearing gloves, paying cash. You never use your real name. You use the name of a fictional character or a celebrity who died before the internet existed. The package arrives. The buyer leaves a review, 4 stars, says it smelled a little through the packaging. You upgrade your sealing method, 5 stars on the next one. You have 12 orders the following week. You are a vendor now, a small one, but you've crossed a line that has no uncrossing. Level 3, the established vendor. The side hustle becomes the main event. 6 months in, you have 200 reviews, 4.9 stars. You've built a reputation. In the dark web economy, reputation is everything. It is the only thing. You can't sue someone who scams you. You can't call the police. All you have is your feedback score, and you protect it like it's the most valuable thing you own, because it is. You've expanded your product line. Cannabis, then MDMA, then cocaine, then pressed pills. You are making $3,000 to $6,000 a month. More than your day job, which you're now putting less effort into. The paranoia has started, but it's manageable. You've learned the rules from the forums. Dread, the dark web's version of Reddit, is where vendors share knowledge. You mail from rotating post offices. You never mail from the same location twice in a week. You wear the same generic dark jacket every time you go out. No phone on your person when you mail. You pay for everything in cash. You set up a second laptop. You sleep fine. You tell yourself you're basically just a delivery service. They exist anyway. You're just making the process safer and less violent than the street. This is what every vendor tells themselves. Level 4, the Power Vendor, the brand with a reputation. Your vendor name is known now. On Dread, people discuss you. They compare your product to other vendors. Someone posts, "Best MDMA I've ever had. This guy's the real deal." It gets 47 upvotes. You're doing $25,000 to $40,000 a month in revenue. You have a system. You have a schedule. You have suppliers, multiple, so no single arrest ever shuts you down completely. You have a part-time assistant who doesn't know the full picture. Your roommate thinks you sell vintage clothing online. He's noticed you're always mailing packages. He doesn't ask. You pay the rent, so he doesn't ask. The marketplace you work on takes a commission. Typically 3 to 5% of every sale. It's worth it. The escrow system means buyers can't scam you easily. The feedback system means you can build real commercial equity. You've survived 2 market shutdowns. When Alphabet went down in 2017, 10,000 vendors lost their storefronts overnight. You had backup accounts on 3 other markets. You migrated within 48 hours. Your customers followed your PGP key, the cryptographic signature that proves you're the same vendor, to your new listing. You were resilient resilient, adaptable. You think of yourself as a professional. The DEA has a program called Operation Saboteur. Between 2018 and 2019, it resulted in 61 arrests of dark web vendors across 9 countries. You have read about it. You believe you are smarter than the people who got caught. You are not yet wrong, but the clock is running. Level 5. The wholesale operation. You stop being small. You have made a decision. Retail is risky. Every package is a potential controlled delivery. Law enforcement intercepting a shipment and substituting a GPS tracker or follow-up knock on the door. Every buyer is a potential informant. You've gone wholesale. You now sell to other vendors. Kilos, not grams. You have 3 regular buyers, other vendors on the marketplace, who purchase from you monthly. You do 1 large transaction instead of 300 small ones. Your revenue is $80,000 to $120,000 a month. The money is a problem now. You can't deposit it. You can't explain it. It sits in cryptocurrency wallets, slowly being converted to cash through Bitcoin ATMs across 3 counties, never more than $900 at a time to stay under reporting thresholds. You have a legitimate business, an online store selling something boring, candles maybe, phone accessories. It exists to launder money. It generates fake sales that justify real income hitting your bank account. The paranoia has grown up. It isn't anxiety anymore. It is protocol. You don't discuss this on any device connected to your real identity, ever. You haven't told anyone, not your girlfriend, not your best friend, not your brother. The secret is the operation. The moment someone else knows is the moment you have a liability. You have started to think about exit. At $500,000 total, you'll stop. You tell yourself this. You said that at $200,000 too. Level 6. The market moderator. The infrastructure job. You've been approached. The marketplace you've been selling on has offered you a moderation role, handling disputes between vendors and buyers, reviewing reports of scams, enforcing marketplace rules. The pay is good, a percentage of the market's commission pool, but that's not why you do it. You do it because you need intelligence. You want to see who's getting flagged, which vendors are under scrutiny, which buyers are acting like law enforcement, placing small orders, asking unusual questions, testing vendors. You've seen it happen before. The vendor known as Shiny Flakes, a 20-year-old German boy who ran one of the largest darknet drug operations in Europe from his bedroom, got caught not because of sophisticated police work, but because a neighbor reported unusual mail volume. Simple, stupid, human. You review disputes. You ban scammers. You look for patterns, and occasionally you notice something that worries you, an account that seems just a little too methodical, too clean, too perfectly constructed. The FBI and DEA run undercover buyer accounts on every major market. They make purchases, they build cases, they wait for vendors to make mistakes. Europol's Operation Dark Hunter in 2021 arrested 150 people, vendors, buyers, and moderators across 10 countries simultaneously. The buyers thought they were safe. They weren't. The DEA had their delivery addresses. You know all of this. Knowledge doesn't protect you. It just makes the paranoia more detailed. Level 7. The market administrator. You built the platform. You are not a vendor anymore. You are infrastructure. You and 2 partners have built a marketplace. Clean code, Tor-hosted, escrow system, vendor verification, Monero-only payments because Bitcoin is now traceable enough that serious operators won't touch it. You have 800 vendors. You have 60,000 registered users. Every transaction that happens on your platform generates a 4% commission. Your market is doing $3 to $5 million a month in transaction volume. Your cut? $120,000 to $200,000 a month for running servers. You never touch a drug, you never mail a package, you never speak to a buyer. You are a software platform. You tell yourself you're just like any other marketplace, just for a different category of goods. This is the logic that Alexandra Case used, the 25-year-old Canadian IT contractor who built Alphabay from his apartment in Bangkok, Thailand. By 2017, Alphabay was processing $800,000 in transactions daily. It was 10 times larger than Silk Road at its peak. The FBI spent nearly 2 years building the case against him. The breakthrough was almost laughable. In Alphabay's very first welcome email to new users, sent in 2014, the from address was Alexandra Case's personal Hotmail account.
his real name, his real email, used once, 3 years before he got caught. In July 2017, Thai authorities arrested him at his home in Bangkok. He was found dead in his cell 4 days later. You know this story. You know it by heart. You changed every email, every IP, every alias the week after reading it. But you are one mistake away from being the same story with a different name. Level 8, the exit scam, the betrayal that was always coming. At some point, the market dies. Maybe law enforcement takes it. Operation Bayonet in 2017 took down Alphabay and Hansa simultaneously. When Alphabay fell, panicked vendors and buyers flooded to Hansa, which Dutch police had already been secretly running for a month, collecting data on every single user. Maybe it's an exit scam. Wall Street Market in 2019, one of the largest markets at the time, 5,400 vendors, over 1 million customers, had its administrators quietly drain the escrow wallets and disappear. $11 million in Bitcoin, gone overnight. Vendors woke up to find their funds frozen, their pending orders evaporated, their revenue, weeks of sales held in escrow, stolen by the very people who were supposed to protect it. The incognito market in 2024 did something even uglier. Its administrator, a 23-year-old Taiwanese man named Rui Xiaolin, didn't just steal the funds. He tried to extort vendors first, threatening to release their transaction histories to law enforcement if they didn't pay a ransom. He was arrested in May 2024 at JFK Airport. If you're a vendor, you lose everything stored in escrow. Months of income, your reputation tied to that marketplace is gone. Your buyer relationships, gone. Your storefront, gone. You rebuild. You migrate. You start over on a new platform with a new vendor name. You transfer your PGP key, the one thing that proves continuity of identity, and post a verification message so your customers can find you. But this is the 4th time this has happened to you. And each time you rebuild, you make a small mistake you didn't make before. Fatigue does that. Repetition does that. You start to cut corners you promised yourself you'd never cut. Level 9, the knock on the door. The end they always said was coming. They always said you'd get caught. You never believed them. Because the people who got caught were careless. They used their real emails like Ulbricht did. They sent their friends. They sent packages from their own mailbox. They deposited cash in round numbers. You weren't careless. Except, blockchain analysis has gotten very good. Very, very good. Companies like Chainalysis and TRM Labs work directly with the FBI and DEA. They can follow Bitcoin, even through mixers, even through multiple wallets, with a clarity that would have been impossible 5 years ago. In 2024, illicit crypto transactions traced to drug markets exceeded $2.4 billion. They traced most of it. And Monero, the privacy coin every serious operator switched to, law enforcement is closing in on that too. Or maybe it was simpler than that. Maybe a buyer got arrested and cut a deal, gave up their vendor. That's how it ends for most people. Not sophisticated digital forensics, a scared kid in an interrogation room trading names for a reduced sentence. Or maybe it was the mail. In 2023 and 2024 alone, U.S. Customs intercepted hundreds of thousands of drug packages entering the country. Enough of them had DNA, fingerprints, or return addresses that pointed somewhere real. However it happened, you hear it first. A knock on the door, or multiple knocks. Loud, official, 6 a.m. They already have your laptop. They've already imaged your drives. They already know everything. Your lawyer says cooperation is your best option. The prosecution has a file that's 200 pages long. Every transaction, every address, every username. A chart that maps your entire operation. The minimum sentence for drug trafficking with intent to distribute at your level is 10 years. The prosecution is seeking 20. Ross Ulbricht got 2 life sentences. He was eventually pardoned by Donald Trump in 2025 after serving a decade, which made headlines everywhere. But he was the exception, not the rule. The headlines didn't mention the hundreds of vendors still serving time who no one is advocating for. Your lawyer negotiates. You get 12 years. You are 31 years old. You will be 43 when you get out, if you get out.